This has been such an emotional journey that I am having a hard time remembering what I'm talking about today. I got pretty emotional, and I'm feeling very thankful for a community in which we can do that with one another. So thank you for the ability to be emotional and be vulnerable and to feel such love as we do that and feel cared for as we do that. I'm very grateful. So today we're talking about transformation. And it's very, very, what I'm talking about is very close to what Janice explained. And what she explained was that she was laying in bed and she was feeling emotions like sad and upset. She had been to a funeral for her brother, so she was feeling those feelings, and a part of her recognized that she had a choice in that moment, and that what she was choosing in that moment didn't feel good. And so she did what sounds really simple, but often feels really hard to do. She chose a different thought that created a different feeling. And so she embraced her power. The Daily Word talked about, being one with Christ, and Ben was right on. That's what we talk about in unity, is the indwelling Christ. The recognition that we are, the truth of who we are is that Christ, is that enlightened, at one with all that is spirit. So, everything is energy, including you. We draw to us that which is a vibrational match to us. So, we have a physical body, and we also have an energetic body. We see a body that's physical, but the truth of who we are is that we are our energy. That's what we are. And everything has an energy to it, right? So emotions have energy to them. Frustration has a different energy, a different vibration than anger does. Love has a different energy and vibration than, let's say, frustration again, because I can't find another emotion. So they all have their own way of vibrating. And we, as energetic beings, also are vibrating, right? And so we can look around at our life, we can look at what we've drawn to us and know that what we're seeing, what's showing up for us, is in some way a vibrational match to us. Can we feel the power of that? Here's the hard thing about that. It's good news, bad news. The good news is that you're not a victim of the world you see, that I'm not a victim of the world I see. The bad news is I'm responsible for my life. All of it? Even that thing? Even that person? Really? I did that? Okay. All right. Can you feel that? It's difficult. There are moments where we would rather look at what shows up in our lives and absolutely not take any responsibility for it. And I am suggesting that our freedom lies in doing just that, in recognizing that we are, in fact, the one that created it in some way. We're a vibrational match to it. It's coming to us, so what's it here to teach us? Thoughts create energy, which we experience as emotion. That emotional energy is our vibrational set point. It is our point of attraction. So we have a thought, and a thought produces an energy, and we experience that energy as an emotion. So when my teacher Abraham says, choose a better feeling thought, what that means is choose a thought that creates an energy where the emotion feels better than the last one I just had. Remember a few weeks ago we were talking about how we could reach up. Like when we are in despair, that we don't want to reach up for joy when we're in despair. It's too far away in that moment. But we can reach up for anger. Anger is above that. We can reach up for that. Now I'm not a proponent of staying in anger, and I just have to say it here. I realized after I talked that day that I didn't say, hey, don't take action from that place of anger and revenge. I did talk about reaching up for it, and then I went, can I even say we shouldn't? I mean, I know that everybody knows that, we're smart people, but I feel like an obligation to say that when we're talking about reaching up for a better feeling thought, my suggestion is that we not take any action until we are in acceptance, enjoyment, or enthusiasm. Everything we do is infused with the energy with which we do it. Okay, that caveat, we don't talk about it anymore. All right, So the emotional energy is our vibrational set point. So in any moment when I'm experiencing an emotion, that is my vibrational set point. That is controlling what I am drawing to me in that moment. Can we feel that? Okay. Negative emotions create stress response chemicals that can make us sick, cause dis-ease. Last week we talked about healing, and there were so many ways in which to talk about healing, but I was feeling called to talk about the reality that there is no one way or one path, and that we should look within. That's kind of where I went with last week. But one of the things that I believe to be true is that all of our illnesses, all of the things that manifest for us are a form of dis-ease, right? We have ease or we have dis-ease. So the reality is when we have negative emotions and we stay there, negative emotions create stress chemicals. Our body does not know the difference between us actually living something that is stressful or us actually thinking about something that is stressful. So it responds, and then those stress chemicals can interfere with the energetic flow of our body. We know that. Okay, this is the one I want to talk about. So, we have a thought, it creates a feeling, right? It creates an energy and it's emotion. We experience that as emotion. So first we have a feeling. So if we stay in that feeling, what happens, because we live in a universe that's governed by physical laws, and we're talking about one of them now, which is the law of attraction, and that we attract to us what is a vibrational match. So here we are, we have a feeling. Now if I stay with that feeling for a sustained period of time, I'm attracting more things, more matches to that feeling. And the feeling becomes a mood, right? So then we're in a mood. And the more we stick with that mood, have you had one of those moods? I have never, but I've heard other people. But, so we're in a mood, right? And we say that, I'm in a mood, you're in a mood. We don't want to be around the person they're in a mood. So then we stick to it, right? We stick to the mood. And after a time, we're attracting more, and that mood becomes a temperament. It becomes something that we kind of fall back to pretty quickly in situations, right? And then temperament becomes a personality trait, right? And so you've had that feeling or thought about someone. That person's angry. That's an angry person, right? You've had that thought about them. Well, the reality is that's not the truth of who they are. It is a pattern of unconsciousness that started as a feeling and then went to a mood, became a temperament, and now it's a personality trait, and it's something that we say defines the person. So, what's important to do? Become aware of the feeling pretty early on, right? Before it becomes a mood, before it becomes a temperament, before it turns into a personality trait, right? And so, if you're like me, and anxiety is a companion that you have, your first thought is, oh my gosh, I gotta make sure I'm aware of all these thoughts and feelings, right? I don't want to create that. I don't want to have a mood. I don't want to be a temperament. I don't want to have a personality trait that says I'm bad, right? And so pretty quick we start going, trying to zap those feelings and thoughts. And for me, I definitely went there when I first realized that I was creating my reality. Oh, it was not fun to be in my head. Because it was, oh, there's that. Oh, no, I had that. Oh, stop that. Okay, and then kumbaya. I mean, literally, I would try as hard as I could to shut it all down. Like, let's just shut down the show. Here's the great news. Here's what I've learned. That's what sleeping is. Okay, this has not been scientifically proven, but it is my theory that is what sleep is. It is a reset. It is a start over button, right? And that's why sometimes when we get that way, you know how when we're really, really sad or something's upsetting us, we're like tired, depression, tiredness. I think it's because our soul going, get some rest. We got to reset this puppy. This is not where we want to be vibrating. We got to start this show over again, right? Okay, so the recognition is that we can choose to have resets. We can choose to have resets other than just sleep. One of mine is meditation. One of mine is breaths. Conscious breaths. That, it's the recognition that as soon as you become aware, as soon as you're Janice and you're laying there and you realize, oh, I'm focusing on something that feels bad. That's the moment to just breathe. Because here's the thing, we have a vibrational set point. So, and you know who explains this really, really well is Michael Singer in Untethered Soul. He talks about how every one of us has kind of a range of emotions that we kind of stick to. It's like our normal thing, and it becomes our comfort zone. We feel good somewhere along in here. And what that means is that anything, too high, so too happy kind of feels weird because we're used to this. So even feeling good could potentially feel a little uncomfortable to us because we live here and joy's up here. Okay, I don't know, I was going somewhere with that. Vibrational match. Okay, let's go to the next one, we'll see what happens. Okay. Every thought is where you last left it. So we must forgive and heal the past to create new in our life. Okay, this is what I wanted to say. Every thought is where you last left it. On everything, right? So think about a person that maybe frustrates you, or maybe even more than frustrates you, maybe makes you angry, or maybe makes you sad. Just in your mind, just think about that person really quickly. Everybody bring a person. Okay. Every thought's where you last left it. So, in order to clean up our vibration, in order to attract new in our lives, we got to clean up the vibration of you and how you feel about the person we just talked about. The person you just brought to your mind. Because that's your vibrational set point. Like, it's still there. You're not thinking about that person, but that still exists in you, right? So we clean that up. We become intentional and beginning to think about the person in another way. One of the ways that I think is helpful is to think of that person and recognize that no matter how much I think what I don't like is a personality trait, no matter how much I think that is actually who the person is, that is not who the person is. That is a pattern of unconsciousness, and every single one of us have patterns of unconsciousness. Every one of us. All right, not me. But some people. But we do. So, right? And so the moment that we can think about that person and go, wait, not them, not the truth of them, pattern of unconsciousness, that's cleaning up that vibration. It's cleaning up where I am vibrating there so that we don't attract more of that person because clearly we don't like them. No. So, but that's the truth, right? We want to attract a different energy into our life, so we become intentional about cleaning up things from the past, and so that we can have a new future. Cleaning up things that we think about the person next to us, so that that person shows up for us in a new way. Because this is the amazing thing about this. Even if that person has a personality trait and exhibits that personality trait that you don't like to every other person, if you clean up your vibration with them, they'll show up for you in a different way. Everybody else can have a bad experience. Everybody else can have a bad experience of New Yorkers, but not Elena. Not Elena. You feel that? I mean, that is the reality. So we become super intentional. We become the powerful beings and creators that we are. The reality is we're creating this stuff anyway. We might as well consciously do it. We might as well be intentional about our energy and our vibration. So here's the part that I tell myself all the time. Don't worry. Life will show me what to heal next. Don't worry. I don't have to figure it out. I don't have to figure out, now what vibrations do I need to clean up? Let me make a list of all the people, all the things. Because guess what? Life's going to show you. Tomorrow's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And you're going to know, oh, this is the next thing. This is the next thing I worked on. And there should be an ease and a flow about it. And if there's not, it's because I'm trying too hard. Because life is for me. Life is for me. The universe is friendly and it's for me. So if I'm struggling with this at all, it means that I am not going with the flow. I am not allowing life to show me what to heal next. And then turning inward, and that goes back to what we talked about last time. So something shows up and we know that there's something to heal. Oftentimes things will even show up in our physical bodies that might be pointing towards something we need to clean up, and that's when we turn inward and we trust that the universe is going to bring to us what we need next. It's going to bring to us the book that says, oh, here's mine. This week I watched a movie, and the movie said, I mean, I don't know why I think this is 100% right, other than it's my intuition was like, that's for you, listen to that. So the guy said that the thing to do, so it was real cloudy this week, right? It was really cloudy, and I did great all winter. I was not upset about the weather. There was a polar vortex. I don't know if you remember that, but I did okay. It happened over my birthday. I'm just saying. So that happened, okay, and I was fine. And then this week it was cloudy, and it was like, I was like, I just can't do it anymore, you know. So all week, I really was feeling very melancholy. So, beginning of the week, I watched this movie, and the guy's a nutritionist, and more, not just a nutritionist, but other things, like, I don't know, he studied ancient people or something, but he seemed really smart when he said it. So, but I just, when he was saying it, I just knew it was for me, and this is what he said. He said, if you're feeling like down, you need to eat orange and yellow together. So I bought oranges and pineapples, and I ate them together all week long. I also, because he says that, okay, so he says, this is totally off topic, but I'm just going to share it with you, because maybe it's for you too. You'll know, you'll be pointed to it. But he was talking about how colors of food that correspond with the energy centers in our body. You guys probably already know this. But, okay, so, you know, the chakras, the energy, because we're energy beings, right? Okay, so the energetic parts of our body, you eat the corresponding color of the energy center that you're trying to work on clearing out, right? I know. I thought it was a genius. And he said that the thing you got to do is mix the colors. It's not just, you know, don't just have oranges and pineapple together. So that led to me buying a blender, a bullet blender. I've never had a blender ever. This is true. And I do. And now I've had a smoothie. The last 3 days, I have to say, I don't even remember life before smoothies. It was so long. I do. I feel like, you know, the people that do smoothies, and I was always like, I wish I could be a smoothie drinker person. Because they're always going to the gym. I just need to drink smoothies, and then I'll go to the gym after that. So anyway, I'm feeling really good about smoothies. So what was I saying? Oh, okay. So don't worry, life will show you what to heal next. I really know that, you know, I talked to you guys about healing the week before, and I've been getting this intuition, this knowing that part of me is that I have been trying not to feel what my body says, because and it's a defense mechanism, and it wasn't something that I was consciously doing, but there was a part of me that was still shutting off my body from telling me something, because in the past my body would tell me negative emotions, and I think, I don't want to, please don't, right, like that, and then I was getting them stuck in there, which brings us full circle back to the smoothies, and I'm cleaning that out. Yeah, right, but that's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is that the recognition is that my next work was to work on two things: self-love and inviting in more messages from my body. So, I don't know, what's y'all's? Anyway, so that's what happens. Life shows us what to work on next, right? I didn't have to go, what is it that I need to work on so that I make sure that I create the thing in life that I want. Life showed me what came next, and I am relaxing into the flow of that. I remind myself often that there is a flow to life. It's friendly and it's for me. Open up, let it in, take my lesson, be okay with what comes next, and just show up. So, and the other thing was practice joy, which is the other thing I did this week, along with the smoothies, and they did help. So, I was markedly more happy by Thursday. People that saw me Thursday, don't you agree that I was? I was, and I really, you know, maybe it's placebo, I don't know, but the oranges and the pineapple and the whole thing, I was practicing joy. So what I have been doing is listening to music. On the way here, I heard Love Shack. And I was singing it very loud, and my children were in the back seat, and they were going, and I was totally ignoring them saying how they didn't like the song. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Bang, bang. You know, yeah. Okay. So, where was I? Love chat. So, practice joy, and that's what we're doing right now. Like all of us that are laughing, that is practicing joy. We practice heaven. We practice feeling good the way that we, focus on the things that don't feel good, and we do that. So the parting lesson is practice joy. Do what makes you happy, because you will be vibrating at a joyful place. You'll be vibrating higher. You'll bring in more of that. And so when it all gets too much, and this is what I say to my husband all the time because he loves to sail, and when it all gets too much, I say, just go sailing. Forget it all. Just go sail. Just stop worrying about it. Stop thinking about it. Go sailing. And I'm really good at telling other people to do that, and not so good at doing it myself. So I have to remind myself, practice joy. Do the thing that gives you joy. That was fun. Okay, let's have a minute together. Let's have a moment. Before. Oh, guys. Oh, God. No, I have to tell you this. Okay, and I have to read it from this. Now, in that movie was a physicist. This isn't really, it is on topic. It's always on topic. Okay, so there was a physicist in this movie, and he said this thing, and this is what happened. He said it, and I went, what? And I did it again, and I did it again, and I did it so that I could literally get down everything he said. And this is what he said. So just take a breath. Okay, see if you can feel this, because to me it's huge. It's huge. This is a physicist. Within every proton, every subatomic particle in the nucleus of atoms is all the energy, all the information of all the other atoms in the universe. When we go inward, we actually connect with that oneness, with that connectivity of all things. So try it again. So just see if you can feel it. Okay. Within every proton, every subatomic particle in the nucleus of atoms lies all the energy, all the information of all the other atoms in the universe. So our atoms, our subatomic particles, it's the same thing. It literally has all the information of every atom in the universe. I know! That's science. That's science. I mean, that's it. That's oneness. That's what we talk about. When we talk about going inward, when we say, I am one with you and you are one with me, I'm one with all that is, it's not conjecture. I mean, it's the truth. We are one with it. Do y'all love it? Anyway, I've been carrying this around, the saying, and reading it over, and just sitting with it. This is one of those thoughts that if you can just kind of sit in it and sit with it. Sometimes something, you hear something, someone says something, you read something, and you can feel there's something in you that is tapping you, right? And if you can just stop and sit with that, we really, really, really feel our knowing. And we feel that we know that we're one. Okay, so now we're gonna pray. Sorry, I forgot about it. Put that slide there.